Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Ice Fishing Report, brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. And yeah, I said ice fishing report, and we don't have any ice yet. But they do have ice, finally, up by Cadillac. So Pilgrim's Village, I talked to the folks up there, and they said they've got 3 to 6-ish inches of ice on Cadillac and Mitchell. So the guys are out there. Sounds like they got about 1 inch or 2 of snow on there, so it is pretty easy walking right now. Definitely wouldn't recommend driving machines on 3 to 6 inches because the 3 inches will get you in trouble. 6 might be okay, but when you're dealing with 3 to 6, not ready yet. But the cold weather coming in next week, as long as they don't get much snow up there, it should make a lot of thickness next week. And same thing for down here. The forecast for down here, starting Saturday night, we drop down into the 20s, and then it looks like we've got ice making all of next week. So, you know, let's keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully we can lock these canals up, and we can get out there. And then maybe, you know, later in the week when we get that second surge going into the following weekend, it looks like we're supposed to get some much colder temperatures. And if we get a good night or two of calm winds, then the lake will lock up. So it might happen all pretty quick this year when it does happen. Keeping both fingers crossed here to hopefully we can get out there on the hard water pretty soon. We're kind of normal right now, right? We're not even first week of January yet. So generally it's that first week of January that we look for things to really start to freeze up down here. Now, even though we don't have ice, doesn't mean that we don't have fish. So last week, after we did our fishing report, I think it was like 2 days after the last report, we actually had a monster walleye come in. Ryan brought a just amazing specimen of walleye in, 13.7 pounds, weighed on our scales, and then my understanding is weighed on a second set of scales at that 13.7 mark as well. So 31.5 inches, just an absolute beast of a fish for 31.5 inches. Thickness was amazing. And the reason why these fish are so heavy right now and they're so thick is they got a ton of food. And we've gotten several videos in now from different marinas in the area along the lake that are just full of shad. And they're not little bitty shad. These are like, you know, 3 to 6 inches or better shad. And those shad are super fatty and super high protein. And the walleyes and the muskies, that's right, muskies, like this one that Mike Coleman caught in the spillway. I think he went 4 for 5 that day in the spillway. These shad are everywhere. So I guarantee you these shad are in the spillway as well, even though it's probably a little too murky to get a good camera shot of them. But they're in all the marinas right now. They're along the shoreline. Walleyes are eating them. Muskies are eating them. Anything that eats, you know, these big minnow type baits is going to be feasting right now on these shad. So that's what's going on along the shoreline here on the lake. Guys are still out there trolling down on that south end and up along the mile roads as well, pulling bandits still. You know, God bless you guys out there in that cold weather. That is not for me, but hey, you know, if it's your thing, then have at her right now. That Crocker Road boat launch is just completely trashed right now with algae and stuff like it does every time this year. So your best bet's to probably launch down at Harley. But there's not that many guys going out. Those of you that are still going out, you know where to launch and everything right now. Most of the other guys got everything put away for the winter, and that's probably a good thing because once it starts going down into the low 20s, you can do a lot of damage to your lower unit and even your block if you don't get all that water out of there, unless you got it in some kind of a heated garage somewhere. So if you haven't got your boats winterized, man, you really want to get it done in the next few days because it looks like the cold weather is going to come in and it's going to stay. So panfish action. Yeah, it's been kind of hit or miss. You know, we're still getting good reports of perch, but that's not been as consistent as it was about a week ago. They were getting them up there on that St. Clair River just below the Black River. And we're also getting them off of Decker's Landing. But that last windstorm that we had kind of really slowed things down, dirtied the water up quite a bit. But it looks like things are starting to clean up a little bit too, so maybe that perch fishing is going to pick up as well. Panfish fishing in the back of the marina behind the store has been kind of hit or miss too. That's the way those fish are. You know, one day they get them pretty good, and the next day it kind of slows down. Sometimes that last couple hours of daylight in the afternoon, you can count on that being a little flurry of activity if it's been slow during the day. I haven't heard much else on the panfish. It's just the weather has just been kind of funky, and with all the snow and the rain and the wind and everything, not a lot of guys have been getting out. But again, looking to have everything freeze up next week, and then it'll get much better. I mentioned about Cadillac and Mitchell being froze, so obviously that Houghton Lake is froze up there as well. Actually got a picture from Garrick. He was up there on Houghton Lake and sent me a picture just to prove that he was out on the ice already this year. So yeah, Houghton Lake is froze too. Again, I still wouldn't run machines out there yet. It's still pretty early, but the guys are walking out there. They're using caution, early ice, but they are getting out now. So if you want to give yourself a New Year's trip, maybe head up to that Cadillac area or the Houghton Lake area, and spread some money around up there to some of those businesses that may be hurting a little bit, and get out there and get some early ice, and then maybe that following week down here we'll have ice of our own. So with all that said, that's all I've got for the report this week, and we will see you in the store sometime in the coming future. Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.